Have you ever wondered how some people seem to be cruising so often? Are they super rich? Are they cruising for free? Or do they have some secrets that we should all know about? Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, if you've cruised before and you love it, you know that you are probably always looking for ways to be able to cruise more often. And a lot of people do wonder when they see some other people maybe cruising several times a year, how is it that people can afford it? And I know that this question is definitely asked, whether it's on YouTube channels or whether it's in cruise Facebook groups. I definitely have seen it. So recently, I asked the members of the LifeWell Cruise community on Facebook to share their secrets. Now, there were many great comments, and so what I did is I compiled them all, and I'm going to share with you, well, basically broken up into 10 points or categories. And I'm also going to answer a question that I know a lot of people do wonder about as to how people cruise so often. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention two things. Firstly, often is relative. So for some people, cruising often is cruising once a year. For other people, cruising often is cruising 2 to 4 times a year, and other people, it might even be 10 times a year. So the whole point of this is how to cruise more than you do already and how to be able to do so. And if you have additional tips, please do leave them down in the comments below. And as well, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, they save money and they prioritize cruising and travel. Now, I think a little bit of a misconception about people who do go on cruises is that they must be rich. And I don't think that this is the case at all. Many people actually just choose where they spend their money. For a lot of people, they say that instead of driving the newest cars, maybe they're driving a car that's a little bit older, or maybe instead of going to restaurants several times a week or paying a lot of money for takeout, they're simply saving their money, cooking at home more often, and using their disposable income to go on cruises. Now, personally, in our own lives, especially when our children are growing up, that's the way we chose to live. We didn't spend a lot on a lot of extra things, especially like going out to dinner and things like that. And instead, what we did is we decided to prioritize family vacation. Number two, they cruise in interior cabins or cheaper cabins. Now, a lot of people did mention that they could do 2 cruises in interior cabins or less expensive cabins for the price of a cruise in a balcony cabin. Now, other people said, and I'm going to keep this under the same category, that what they do is they look for cruise ships that are a little bit older and maybe a little bit smaller. And that is also a way to cruise more often for less because those cruises are cheaper. Now, finally, in the same category, some people say that they also do shorter cruises. Shorter cruises are oftentimes less money, but still give a lot of bang for your buck because you do get that cruise vacation. Number three, people who cruise more often say they avoid cruising during peak season. So that means they avoid the holiday sailings. They avoid cruising during peak season when the children are out of school. So the summer sailings and the Christmas, the March break, all of that. Now, I know this isn't possible for everybody. Sometimes you have to cruise when your children are on a school break, or maybe you have a job where you have to cruise or vacation at a certain time of year. But if you are able to cruise outside of peak season, you definitely can save a lot of money, and that can allow you to go on 2 cruises for the price of 1 that is during peak season. Number 4. Now, this is one that I definitely don't do. I definitely have never taken advantage of, and that is casino rates. And I have heard that these can be so amazing. Now, I've mentioned it before. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I just don't go to the casino. Maybe I should. In any case, people say that they're getting casino rates for as little as $25 a night per person, and that they're able to get upgrades to better cabins for maybe even $15 a night per person. There are also people that are getting free cruises. Now, I have to say, I do not know exactly how casino rates work, but I have heard that even if you're spending a couple of $100s in the casino, that it is really likely that you are going to get some emails of some casino rates after your cruise. Now, please let me know a little bit more about casino rates down in the comments below if you do have some experience with this. Number 5, they live close to the cruise port. Florida residents, I am so jealous of you. You have 5 cruise ports that are within your state. That is just amazing. But outside of Florida, of course, there are other cruise ports that might be close by. So that is definitely something for people that do live near a cruise port. They say that is one of the ways that they're able to cruise more often. Number 6, they work with a travel advisor. So many people that cruise often say that they have found a trusted cruise travel advisor that helps them to get the very best prices for their cruise, and oftentimes they book early, and that is a big way that they can save. Now, oftentimes what cruise travel advisors have is they have access to group rates that are oftentimes lower than what the cruise line has, especially if that is booked early, and they get additional benefits like onboard credits as well. Number 8, we're just going to call this one cruise line benefits because there's a few things that go into this. But a lot of people, what they do is they find ways to get additional benefits on their cruise. Now, what they can do is a lot of people do have cruise line shares, and therefore they're able to get a shareholder benefit credit when they do go on their cruise. And that can add up to be between about $100 for a 7-day cruise, all the way up to about $300 in some cases per cabin. Now, another benefit that people could get is by booking on board. When they book on board, they also get an additional onboard credit either on the cruise that they're on or on a future cruise. And what they do to do what I like to call benefit stacking is then they will transfer that to their preferred travel agent for those better rates and perks as well. And I almost forgot loyalty programs. Now, if they sail with the same cruise line, they do end up getting some perks on board, getting some discounts, and that is a way that a lot of people say they're able to lower their price as well. Now, I do have 3 more points to go through, and I know people have really been wondering about that. But before I do, I did want to mention that if you are planning your cruise and budgeting for your cruise, I do have the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner. Now, this is a 47-page downloadable cruise planner with packing lists, but as well, you also have a place to budget your cruise and to really write down all of the different parts of your cruise, from shore excursion planning, your cruise price, any discounts that you have gotten, to keep track of all of that and more. Now, what I will do is I will leave a link down in the description if you do want to check it out and see what is included. Number 8, they budget and they save for their cruise. Now, a lot of people said what they do is they put down their deposit, then over several months, they will put money every month into their account for their cruise account to pay off their final payment, and as well to use for shore excursions, for maybe drink packages. They will even try to book and pay for things before the cruise if possible, so that when they are on the cruise, they don't have a really big bill at the end. Now, other people did mention something that I've never used before, and this is something called Uplift. This seems to be basically a website or a program that partners with cruise lines, and what you can do is you can pay off your cruise on a monthly basis. I guess it's sort of like a credit card, and again, I have not used this, so maybe I'll leave the link down in the description below as well if you do want to check that out. It seems like they work with several cruise lines. I saw Carnival on the website, I saw Royal Caribbean, and I saw they work with some large travel agencies as well. Now, if you've ever used Uplift, or if you do save monthly in some sort of way, please let me know down in the comments below. Number 9, and I know sometimes people do wonder about this, some people are travel agents. Now, when people are travel agents, they are getting travel agent discounts most of the time. However, it does not mean that they are cruising for free. So travel agents may have sometimes fam trips, and these are basically free trips where they may have a learning experience as part of their cruise. They also may earn cruises based on their sales or based on other factors that they have. They may have certain promotions that they're able to take advantage of, and this is really one of the perks that people do have when they work as a travel agent. Number 10, they are content creators. So they are bloggers or YouTubers, and obviously if they are creating content about cruising, well, they are going to cruise more often than somebody who's not, and especially if this is what they're doing as their full-time job. Because when people are cruise content creators or any content creators, this really is something that they're doing as a business. So they're obviously going to be cruising more often so that they can try out the product, so that they can have more to report on and really just create content that people do really enjoy watching. Now, I know a lot of people wonder, are cruise content creators, bloggers, are they cruising for free? Now, of course, I cannot speak for everybody, but I do think on the most part that bloggers and vloggers are actually paying for their own cruises. Now, there may be times that they're working with a brand and they might be doing sponsored content, or they might be going on a press trip or a media trip, in which case they are sort of reporting on that experience. And of course, that is work, so therefore it's not really free, but they are not paying for that cruise. However, when that happens, they will or they should disclose it. Now, in this video, I just went through 10 ways that people are cruising more often, but I know there are many more ways that people have found to be able to afford to cruise so often. And I would love to hear your own tips, your own tricks, your own secrets down in the comments below, as well as any questions that you have. Now, I am going to leave that information about the Ultimate Cruise Planner. I am going to leave it down in the description below as well. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would love to have you here within the Life Well Cruise community. Bye for now and happy cruising.